Good evening. The hardcore group is a lesser number than the regular seminar. I'd like to say because we lost you in battle, but we didn't. Or as they say in this part of the world, we didn't. We have a few special announcements for this group, or this time, but as the guys that were there and Kira know, something very special happened at this seminar. I ranted and raved quite a bit. I don't understand why anybody pays anybody any money who's never done any fucking thing in their life. But I'm off that soapbox right now. I still don't understand. But at this seminar, something special happened. We made fucking magic. How did we make magic? We took an idea that I didn't know was coming. I approved it. We got a board approval. We got legal approval. We got the seller to sign a binding fucking agreement. And that's history. Nobody in the history of this motherfucking business has ever done that. Nobody. Nobody teaches it because none of the cocksuckers know how to do it. 23 years ago, I thought they'd be copying me in months. And they're still not copying me. Why? Because they can't fucking do it. When we talked to the lawyer the other day, who was finalizing or approving the draft for the binding agreement, I said, why don't you explain it to me like I had never done 1,000 transactions, kid? And he said, you've done 1,000 transactions? I said, yes, I have. So he started from A and he went to Z. I had him explain for your benefit, not mine, because I knew what it was about. And I saw all your eyes and mouths drop open like you had just seen Jesus come back from the fucking cross. Because you did see Jesus come back from the cross. Now we're going to film that, and we're going to package it, and we're going to put it out. I'm not sure how yet. But never in the history of success, personal development, or business seminars has that ever been done. And I'm here to say it's never going to fucking be done. And we're going to put it up like Jesus, Moses on the fucking mount, coming down with the fucking tablets. You saw with your own fucking eyes. Am I the greatest that ever lived? You motherfucking right I am. I proved it to myself. Not that I needed any fucking validation. Now tonight's a very special night because we're going to have an inductee to the Hall of Fame. One of your own. But I'm saving him for last. He was here 2 years ago, almost to the day. 2 years ago to the day. One of you at least was in his group. Who was it? Okay. Well, you don't have to stand next to him. Jesus Christ, Don. Please. And we have one other special announcement that we're going to make at the end. Needless to say, as I said, when I was poking fun of myself, I was firing on all 12 cylinders this week. But when I thought about it, I fire on all 12 cylinders every day of my life. Because I'm in the zone, as they say, and I have been for about 45 years. The tragedy is most of the kids that are on the planet not only are not on the zone, they will never feel the zone. They will never feel the zone. One of the reasons the inductee is being inducted is because he's changed 2-3 million lives. I haven't changed that many lives. And I'll get more about it. I have my notes when I'm going to talk about Brian QLA Rose, as he's affectionately called. But he actually likes one when they walk down the street and the people mob him. I don't want to go off into why he likes that, but that's a whole other... I could give a seminar just on that. Whereas I would find it a pain in the ass if they recognize me. The seminar, to say it went exceptionally well, is a motherfucking understatement of Allah, biblical, Quran proportion. You learn from the very fucking best this week. Now, I expect you to go out and put it into use. I demand, and one of the reasons, and I pointed at the Hall of Fame, the reason those guys are up there and the gals is because they stayed focused longer, and they never gave up. They never gave up. We had some, not tragedies, that's too strong a word. We had some setbacks for a couple of people this week, which we will not put on YouTube, that I told you so, but that's part of being 71 years old and have been around almost 50 years and been involved in so many thousands of transactions. But when the conference call came and the guy, and I mentioned the guy's name, which I'm not going to mention on YouTube, he says, he hired me. He brought me down from Philadelphia. And I said, then the rest was rather simple. And then when I made mention of the fact, is so-and-so still around? And he says, yes, she still is. Is she still playing tennis? And he says, yes, she is. I said, she was an All-American. And I said, yes, she is. I made first person to ever make her cry. And he says, well, I'm not going to bring that up to her. And that's the difference between most people and myself. I hold that as a badge of honor. First guy to make a woman that runs the healthcare practice of one of the big 4 fucking accounting firms cry. And I still remember the day we were sitting in the restaurant. And I still remember beating her up, not physically, beating her up. But that's the difference, guys. Now, we're going to hand out your graduation certificates. I'm going to make a little speech about Brian QLA Rose, most of which is accurate. I took it from his fucking site. I mean, huh? Well, don't correct me when I'm saying it, please, when I'm giving you the accolades. And then we have a special announcement, a special award I'm going to give. I mean, to you, I want you to go out and rip their heads off and shit down their neck and fucking crush them. And which is going viral right now, I want you to kill. Run towards the gunfire and kill them all. To your health.
Cheers. Can I also say something, Mr. Peña?
Sure.
Firstly, I would like to thank you and Shelly to give us the opportunity to live this castle experience here. It's amazing value and cozy experience. Just I have no words to explain it.
Thank you.
But most importantly, thank you for sharing with us your business experience, which is a tremendous experience in the business, and to give us all this workshop in the business and sharing with us all your knowledge.
You're welcome.
We all appreciate it, and I believe that we all learned a lot from it.
Thank you very much.
Most importantly, sir, I would like to thank you for the whole Beaton. Because without your Beaton, we won't be on track and we won't be focused.
Okay, well, I'm going to remind you of that after a few weeks.
Therefore, without further ado, I have a small gift for you.
Okay.
I have it.
If it's diamonds, oh my Lord.
This is a small gift from all of us.
Okay.
And, one day, when you heard about us, how successful and what our accomplishments are, just to say, this fucking cunt achieved all this because
Correct.
of my Beaton. And I have a challenge for all of you guys. Let's leave our sign on this bat. Although we know that guarantor is full with the pen. Let's leave our sign.
He sounds like a Bulgarian KGB because he is. He is.
Just in order to say we all will be successful, Mr. Peña.
Thank you.
With our signature.
Do be proud. Do be proud, just like Brian QLA Rose has. Thank you. Okay. Now, instead of a certificate, I'd love to. I'd love to. But thank you very much. It's quite amazing, the transition. And I was telling Sally when I was resting this afternoon, and I'm not trying to upsell anybody, but for a seminar that happened by accident, serendipity, a year ago, and I said, I wonder, because somebody reminded me, it was Easter Sunday. And just like somebody reminded me today was Sunday. And I said, I wonder if I would give a seminar over Christmas if anybody'd come. 72 hours later, it was fully booked, the first hardcore. And we went through, started at Christmas Eve, and it went through the 3rd of January. I'm not doing that again, but it's amazing. What made this seminar and the hardcore special is that we went through 40 plus cases, which is not quite as many or more the cases than you do at a 2-year B school. And we used Harvard B School, which I paid for online, I might add. We used Stanford B School, which I paid for online. And we used, I believe, the University of Virginia, which I paid for online. But when the kids scream about case studies, all they got to do is Google Harvard MBA, and 1 million cases come out, but you got to pay between $8 and $20 for them. And they want free content. So they won't even buy the motherfucking cases for $8. And they wonder why they're fucking poor. And they wonder why they're fucking poor. I mean, it takes sacrifice, kids. And some of the kids that were here this week, these past 10 days, have paid that sacrifice. But they've just begun to pay it. And for those that are going to go on to make and create wealth and then save the world, Allah be with you. I'm not so interested in saving the world. What I'm interested in is putting as many people out there to fulfill their dreams. And the true test of leadership is when you've trained leaders that are training leaders. Well, thankfully, I've got a whole bunch of mentees. I don't like to call them mini-me's, but that are out there doing good stuff. Brian is one of them, but there's a number of them. And Peter Sage, who introduced me to Brian, not indirectly, directly when he mentioned me in his interview, whenever it was, several years ago. But there's a number of them that are now have leadership followings, in some cases cult followings, I do believe, which I don't think are particularly healthy. But this group, because of the restructuring that we had, was extraordinary. I mean, you saw the effect, what it was, and how easily you could study these cases and come up with the right answer. And not 2 years at one of the big B schools. And you came up with the right answers. Not surprisingly enough to me, because I know what I've taught you. And remember, all this is free. 99.9% of everybody that's ever benefited from QLA, I would know if they try to mob me like they do Brian. I would know them because it's free. And the biggest differentiation is my stuff is free, and it's going to stay free, except for the 2 seminars I give. I was humbled this week, and it's not too easy to get me humbled, but to see the progress that you make. When I see Theodore speaking English better than some of the other people in this group, which English is your native language. You know, I mean, it makes me feel good. And when I see people that from all over the planet that have succeeded, it's a very, very good feeling. And at 71, although I was supposed to be on crutches this week, and we may have a challenge getting up the tower, but I'd like to think at least one guy in the group is strong enough to help me up the. Yeah, if you saw me come down the stairs. But every time I fell in the seminar room, everybody, which I did a couple of times, they were, and the reason they were doing that is, God, my year-long free mentor program just went down. My year-long free mentor program just went down the shitter. Now, I like to think that they were concerned, but a couple, I did fall a couple of times, as was noted. I thought maybe nobody would notice, but everybody noticed. But, fuck. And I'm going to have the other leg done in a few weeks. So, and I'm going to spend Christmas convalescing with the other operation. But anyway, I really enjoyed it. I have no idea when I'm going to do another hardcore. I have no idea, other than the seminar in December, when there are any seminars in 2017. But just watch my website. I'm glad that Brian brought his film crew. I mean, they cleaned up well. I mean, it's unbelievable.
I'm impressed.
Yeah, well, I mean, I expected something else. But so never underestimate how wrong you can be. You got picked up in the roller. as you should. And so I'm interested to see. I'm sure you took a lot of pictures of it. A few. But I really had a good time. So let's start with the awards. Thank you.